Well, welcome. I'm Ryan Brown with xByte Technologies. I'm here talking about a recent server purchase. One of our customers, Justin. Also joining me is Brandon from Edge and Max from StarWind. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, earlier today we were talking to Justin about his server purchase, and you were looking at a virtualization environment. Can you tell us kind of what were you looking to expect when you first made the purchase, or before you made the purchase?
Sure. I had a virtual environment already, and it was starting to get old. And my goal was to upgrade, have something faster, and get rid of my single point of failures, being my SAN most importantly, but my network as well. And so I wanted to get away from the SAN environment. The really super fast SANs were out of my budget range, and I really only needed 2 servers. I do not have 50 or 60 VMs. I have 15 or 20, and so 3 or 4 servers. It's not efficient for me. And so I started looking around. The Spicesworks community was something that really helped me out a lot. There's a lot of people in there that gave me some great information. A lot of information about storage and what type of storage and the points of failures. And
now, was that your first exposure to companies like StarWind and Edge and xByte was through Spiceworks?
100% yes. Never heard of you guys until the Spiceworks community. And I got a lot of great information, did a lot of research, spent a lot of time looking at both you guys and some of the bigger names in the company or in the industry. And I reached out to you, reached out to Max separately, didn't know you guys were connected in any way, and start talking and start seeing what we could come up with. And that's kind of where it started. And then, again, the goal was to get faster storage, remove my SAN, so I don't have that as my single point of failure, and, not break the budget, not break the bank, because we are a school and we don't have an unlimited amount of money. So that was my goal. Nice.
And so as you were looking at these solutions, what made you end up picking the StarWind solution with xByte and Edge beyond anything else?
I got the price from you guys, and it was, I compared it with other vendors, other companies out there, compared it with doing it myself, and kind of a homemade solution, and the price was right. It was a good price. I know some people in the community that I respect in the Spiceworks community, and they've used your product before, and they can't say anything bad about it. I couldn't find anything bad about it. And I was looking, Edge I've never heard of until Ryan brought him to my attention. And I said, this is the right price, this is everything what I want. It looked like it's going to be a good fit. Everything else that I wanted was either going to cost way too much, or maybe didn't have something that you guys had. And so I came to this solution after many nights of sleep and said, all right, I feel good about it, let's do it, and let's give it a shot.
You're talking about the Hyper-V environment. You really wanted that Hyper-V solution beyond the VMware. Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, I have both currently. In the VMware environment we use for those 1 or 2 things that are VMware only, which I really don't like, and I wish they'd go away. But the Hyper-V environment, my team has just become more comfortable with. We use it more often. The price point in education is virtually free in terms of licensing for Windows servers and licensing, and it works for us. The 2008 was a little bit buggy, and when it first came out, there wasn't any documentation, so we kind of went into that, just kind of trying it and seeing what we can make work. But 12 has come up, and they've really done a good job with it, and so it's working out great for us. We do not have any problems with it, and it's been very successful. And so, it was, this whole project was, we are a Hyper-V. We are going to stick with Hyper-V. VMware was, it's a great solution, and it works fine. But we decided that we wanted most of our stuff to live in the Hyper-V world, and so I know VMware has a virtual SAN solution. It looks great, but it wasn't the direction that I was going.
Now, Max, are you seeing a lot of customers go towards the Hyper-V solution, even though there is a VMware out there?
Yes. We see a lot of customers going to exactly Hyper-V 2-node solution. So most of the SMB customers we got are using Hyper-V and 2 servers, and they use it as a base point to scale out further. While they can also scale up, like StarWind allows both things to happen. You can add more storage to the servers or add more servers, but all they start in 2 servers and Hyper-V. Some people migrate from vSphere, some people migrate back to vSphere later, but the base is really, I'd say 90% of times, it's Hyper-V for SMBs.
Now you're able to achieve high availability and redundancy in that 2-node cluster. Can you talk a little about how you guys do that?
Yeah, so it's actually high availability and fault tolerance, because we keep not only the data on the drives is coherent, we also keep the caches coherent. So every time you write something to the disk, you technically write it to 2 sets of RAM, 1 in each server, and the data is only considered written when it is synchronized between 2 of them. So essentially you never get a situation where data is different between the servers, unless one was dead for an hour and then you replace the drives.
Now, Justin, you were telling us earlier that in your testing of it and your setup, StarWind had you actually unplug one of the machines to actually test that out. How did that work?
Yeah, it did exactly what we're supposed to do. So when I got the hardware in, StarWind said, okay, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Plug it in, get Server 2012 installed, and then call us. And so I did that. They remoted into my system. They set up everything for me. I think I went to lunch for half the time they were doing it, and I literally did. And I came back, and they did a knowledge transfer. They showed me what they did, how it works. Any questions I had to answer, and then we did some testing mode. And we said, okay, worst case scenario, server dies, go pull the plug. And I walked in my data center, physically pulled out both power supplies, the plug on them, and none of my VMs dropped a packet. It was great. That's what I wanted. We did it a couple times, and I was very happy with it. He showed me, how to use it. To be honest with you, I haven't touched it since I last talked with you because it just works. I don't have to go in and tweak it. I don't have to call them and ask for any kind of help. It just seems to work, and that's what I wanted. I wanted one less thing on my plate.
Now, in the beginning, there were some IOPS requirements you needed. You need to make it fast.
I didn't have a lot of IOPS needs for my current system, but I wanted to be able to do whatever I wanted. I wanted the storage not to be a problem. And with spinning drives, that was going to require just a huge amount of drives, and it was just more than what I needed. And so I was pretty confident that I wanted to go with solid-state drives, but I knew that the price was going to be high. And there's a little bit of reliability issues. They're starting to go away yet, but so I had some questions, and you introduced me to Edge. Never heard of you guys before, so I was a little skeptical, but I went with it. Did some research. Again, couldn't come up with anything negative, and so I went with it. And we got the 960 drives. We have about 10 in each server. And the connection between the drives, like StarWind suggested and Ryan suggested, was 4 10-gig fiber connections. And so they are physically connected to each other. The servers are. There is no networking between them. So that's the connection. And so our first IOPS test, after we have everything, RAID 5 set up, we got the virtual SAN set up. I think I had 44,000 IOPS with that storage. It's a little fast, yeah. It's a lot faster than what I needed, but that's what I wanted. I didn't want me to build this solution and then 2 or 3 years I add more VMs and I'm starting to see some sluggish, some slow into VMs. They're not booting up as fast as they used to. I get people complaining about SQL Server not running fast. I didn't want that, so I wanted to kind of get something really fast. And Edge delivered. It's a Ferrari. It's really fast. It does exactly what I want it to do. There's no hiccups. There's no hesitation. It's instant.
Brandon, is that normal IOPS? 45,000 or 42,000? He was.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, a lot of our SATA-based SSDs, solid-state drives, you see IOPS in real-world situations up to 80,000 on a regular basis.
Wow.
So 45 is certainly something that's very achievable, and oftentimes you can see a higher rating. So Edge has been manufacturing memory for about 30 years. We've been around in the industry for quite some time. We're based in Pflugerville, Texas, just north of Austin. We manufacture and ship out of there. And solid-state drives we've been manufacturing for about 7 years. So we use tier 1 components. We feel very confident that our solid-state drives will stack up against any competitor, including the OEMs. So we feel very good about our product. Certainly, there's some affordability with our product, but you're not sacrificing quality. Certainly not performance. So our controllers and our NAND flash that we procure, we feel like are the best of the best. So we feel very, very confident in our product.
Yeah, I know we have. I mean, Justin just won it. We have a lot of satisfied customers with the Edge drives. We've been lucky to find you guys to give us that cost-effective solid-state solution.
So if I had to do this all over again, I would not change a thing. I would go with you guys, Edge, and StarWinds, and because it was super easy. I thought it was going to be a big pain, and a lot of time spent on me focusing and getting this set up, and it was easy. And like I said, I can't tell you the last time I've thought about it, and that's it just works. Right. It's not something that causes any problems, so I've been very, very happy with it.
Very nice. All right. Justin, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right. Thank you guys very much. We're signing off from Spice World. We're going to go back to the booth and do some more blindfolded server builds.